Is not important the exact date, but yes, I would like to know it eventually. But
Glad to know that you were born in April and not December.
oh yes, April. It was nicer in April. So, what
And
questions do you have for me today, my dear?
okay, uh, you know Ramtha.
Oh yes,
He's a Lemurian,
yes.
and he has been teaching on Earth. He has said that he is the teacher on Earth, and there's something that I came across a few days ago that kind of bothered me that he said because he has been teaching this to thousands and thousands of people on Earth. And it seems that neither Ramtha nor Cryon nor Bashar seem to know that you and I were creators when we came to Earth, because the way he explained your existence on Earth was that um, you're, can you see this?
A little bit.
Now last time, now when I talked to Micah, he said he couldn't see because he was using Jim's eyes. But last time I talked to you, you said you were using higher eyes and you could see just fine.
A little bit higher eyes, yes.
So can you use higher eyes to see?
Well, if you bring it close, and what is it that you want me to observe? Bring it higher.
Okay,
Yes?
this is a very common teaching tool on Earth.
Okay, I
And
cannot read it. The writing is too small, but I can see the images.
yeah, the idea is they call these seals
Yes,
on the body. So the seals on the body, like where the chakras intersect on the body.
yes.
And okay, so that's a very common teaching on Earth, saying that we are born with the first three seals open, one, two, three, and but we need to open the other four in order for the mind of God to flow through all of our chakras and all of our seals.
All right.
And so that's a very common teaching on Earth, is that now on Earth that everyone on Earth has three seals open, but they need to open the other four seals. And but Ramtha actually uses the example of Jesus Christ when you were born. He said, well, when you were born, you only had one seal open, the first seal. And then after you did this, you had the second seal open, and you didn't have the third seal open until you climbed up to the mountain and had this experience where you overcame fear, and that was to open the third seal. Now this would make sense if you were a mortal and you had come to Earth as a human being mortal, but coming to being as a creator, you didn't go through this experience of opening seals.
No, no, not at all. You see, humans, even when the seals are open when you're born as a child, they're not really activated yet. They're a little open so that you can survive and have sensory perception of the root, the survival instincts, the basic things around you. You understand that, correct? That's why that has to be open. But they're not really understanding much. They're open, but they're not they're not bringing their life force from the other lives with them at this point. They're just sort of yawning and waking up. When I was on the earth, I could have them all open if I wanted to, because I was God and man, theanthropic. Therefore, I don't know why they teach such things, because I could do whatever I really, God could do whatever he wanted with me, being that I wouldn't have gone mad having them all open. Of course, he let me have the first three open just like everybody else at first, but the difference was I had some of the heart open already. Because, why? Because because God wanted me to feel the heart of mankind awakening when I was born. And so he let that seep through along with the other ones, but it was a different experience. So instead of having less of the seals open, I had more.
Mhm. And did you have all of the seals open at
No,
birth?
I did not have them all open, but he let some of the heart come through.
Okay, so that's kind of what Ramtha said. He said that you only had like the fifth chakra, not the sixth and seventh. But you had to have the sixth and seventh before you could turn into light.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So when did that happen? When did you get more seals open?
Well, let me see. I'll have to ask Father about that.
Okay.
But let me say, the thing is, the first three were open and a little bit of the fourth. But by the time I was 10 or 12, and I was asking questions in the temple of all the priests and everything, and they were shocked about how much knowledge that I had to have at least up to the communication chakra open. The throat chakra was open. So by the time I reached the preaching time, everything was open.
And what about the sixth and seventh?
Everything was open by the time I got to age 30, or whatever the age was I started to preach and teach.
So all
it had
seven.
to all be open then. Think about
That's
it,
what-
Mary. It had to all be open then.
That's what I thought. That's why I wanted to get this recorded on tape for the world, because this is the time that it's time for the truth about Jesus to be heard, so that when you start being heard, they know the truth. I want the truth out. That's what I want.
And so I don't know. Ramtha is. I'm sorry. I love him. He's wonderful. He's terrific. But some of the things that he is teaching just have no significance in the world today.
That's a nice way of putting it. And I wanted to ask, this goes along with the question I wanted to ask. It seems like shamanism. You know shamanism?
Oh yes, shamanism.
Shamanism is getting very popular, more and more popular every day. And so I feel like everyone's becoming an anthropologist and wanting to become a caveman.
No. Well, shamanism isn't just basic things. Shamanism can include some very complicated procedures, but you have to study the shamans all over the world. There's been shamans through the ages in every part of the world, and you can't just say you're a shaman if you know one part of shamanism. So you have to understand that it was a very broad title at one time. But to actually be a shaman is to know how to do the things that a shaman was supposed to do. Healing, understanding, the wisdom that comes with it, all the different things. So it would take a long time to become a shaman, just as long as it would take to be a doctor, because you would have to study for many years.
It's a very, very difficult, complicated type of science.
Well, it's like becoming a doctor. You know, you have to go to school for a long time to become a doctor because there's much to learn. And for shamanism to be a true and complete shaman, you would have to go to school or learn for many years from your masters to become complete in that schooling.
And I studied shamanism for about 12 years. And
yes, see, that's quite a long time.
And to me, it just coincides exactly with what I taught with Saint Germain, what we believed 2,000 years ago, and it's been around a very long time, and it came back very easily as a memory of things that I've done before. So I just think it's time for those who say there's shamanism and Christianity need to become one. It's the same thing. It's just that they don't understand that we're doing the same thing. We're using the science of all that God is to heal. It's the same thing.
It's all about labeling things to make people happy. So they label it the way they want to label it to make themselves happy. So, oh, I'm a shaman, that makes me feel happy, because that is a broader understanding. But yet, you're right. It can come into different focuses and different labels. And so choose your label, but when you describe what you are, make sure that you're correct.
I'm just always directed and feeling directed to study the things that align with what who I originally am as Mary Magdalene. And the main reason I brought this question up about the seven seals opening, we talked before about you being born in your complete knowingness, but Mary Magdalene was not born knowing everything. I was my complete self, but not totally opened up like you. So was this part of this opening up, you opening up the seals? Is there a relationship to what you were talking about?
Well, you were not born to be theanthropic. God, you weren't a God being on earth. You were just born to be a creator being that came to earth and became a human. So therefore there was a difference, and that's why you weren't opened the same way. However, the seals opened up early for you as well, because you needed to have early contact with some of the more basic truths and elements and be aware of many things, because I'm humans, let's put it that way. But the seals of the body also, as he says, correlate to other seals as well. The opening of the seals of tribulation or all that. But those are not to be talked about in the same rationale. So we won't do that.
So opening the seven seals, when the seven seals are open, that is when we can turn into light and ascend. Is that correct?
Yes and no. Yes, they all have to be open for you to turn into light. Exactly. That is true. But just because they're open doesn't make you turn into light. You must you must learn how to move into the light area. So there are many people with their seals open already. But they're not turning into light because they have not reached that vibrational point which separates them from the third dimension.
So the seals can be open, but you need the chakras intersecting from all of the dimensions at once.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is the music of the spheres.
Absolutely.
And now back to us as Jesus and Mary, we were creating the music of the spheres by opening these seals and chakras and opening ourselves.
They have to be open so that people, it is the actual, you see, there's, no matter, in every species there's ascension and evolution and moving up always and constantly. And in every phase of that evolution, there's something that happens that makes it greater and makes humans a little less dense, or makes the species that you busy yourself with third dimensional things, and that keeps you staying about the same.
Well, actually, I've totally changed my life in the last month. That's why I wanted a new density reading.
Yes, it has gotten a little less, but you still occupy yourself quite a bit with third dimensional stuff. But you have done some more fourth dimensional stuff as well. So, yes, it's a mix. But you are getting better.
I realized something about myself this last month. I was really trying hard to only focus on God, just keep the world out and only God. But then what I found myself doing was enjoying helping people so much, enjoying communicating with people that needed help, enjoying healing people so much that I was finding my joy in that. And I thought I was really raising my frequencies because I was helping people. I felt really good about myself. And then a person decided to go to another healer than me, and then it all came crashing down. And what that made me realize that I shouldn't look for my joy in anything besides God, because you can crash. Even from healing people, it can make you crash.
Dearest Mary, you did a lot of good work with these people, a lot of beautiful healing and things of this nature, and it did help your vibration. But don't let one person make you crash. Heavens, it's not worth it. So I'm just saying, you're very sensitive.
I am very sensitive.
And so don't let one person make you crash and burn. But you see, you were rising up and then crash, you went down, but now you're rising back up again because you are focusing on God. You're focusing on the true, lightest density, greatest love, power, and creative thing of all. And so therefore, yes, that will help you. But you see, my thing with you is that you get so carried away with caught up in what other people are saying and doing. You should only care about the good things that you've done. And there are so many in the universe speaking good about you. Why should you even worry about one person that went somewhere else? It doesn't matter. In the huge scheme of the world, you're doing amazing and wonderful things. Having one person go somewhere else matters not.
Yes. But what I learned is I shouldn't be getting my joy from other people doing anything. My only joy should just be my love of God and just.
But you can help. You can help heal and be joyful that you're doing that, and not be looking at that as people, but be as your mission to be helping people. That you don't have to look at people in the sense that they are reflecting you, but you can look at them as those that you have helped along the way and that you are moving up. Your eyes should be up and not down on them.
Yes, that's what I learned this month. That my eyes, even though I'm healing people, I'm looking down. I'm not looking
You must look up while you're healing. They're healing. You're healing those people. Your hands are healing, but you're looking up. It makes sense.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I usually talk to Elika about other people who are also creators. But you have that same information. I can talk to you.
Certainly.
There are a few people. I've been giving a lot of names to Elika, and he's been telling me whether people creators or not.
Oh, yes. I understand that.
I had a few people I wanted to ask about. Martin Becker, is he a creator?
Martin Becker. Let me see his real name. Hold on. Oh, Kenneth Tan. Yes. Oh, Martin Becker. Yes.
Is he a creator?
Yes.
Oh, he is.
Yes.
Okay, that's why he's so powerful. He's so powerful when I stand near him, I feel like I'm gonna fall down or explode or so intense. Is there a
Yes, he is a
reason?
creator being.
Is there a reason he's so intense?
He passed through, he's actually learned how to bring some of that creator energy into himself in this dimension.
More than I have, it
But
feels
that's
like.
all right. It does not matter. What you're doing, you have all the energy you need to do what is required of you. So you don't need to have any more.
Can you tell me what essence or what aspect he's related to?
Oh, as a
How?
creator being,
Uh-huh.
he is. He's just part of all of us. He does not have to be an essence of Earth. He can be an essence of another planet, you know. He doesn't have to actually be an essence of Earth. And he really isn't.
But he's one of the 47 creators on
Yes.
Earth.
But he was never anyone on Earth that you would notice. But he is in other planets and other galaxies. He's well known.
And his soulmate, David Shershik,
Yes.
also a creator.
Yes.
And can you tell me anything about him?
Now, he was an Earth figure in the past. He was someone of a very early stance in the Oriental area, in the Orient. Before the time of Confucius, he was a high priest.
And then we have Kenneth Tong, who is Confucius.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And he's going to be talking to you in Elika soon.
Excellent. I know him. I remember him as a creator being as well. A very, very well-spoken creator being.
But he needs to learn a lot more about himself to be ready for his mission.
He will. Not a problem.
Right. So those are the three people I'm talking to now. And there's also Diane Maybaum. I thought Elika said she was Mother Mary.
Yes.
Diane Maybaum. She was an aspect of Mother Mary, or she was Mother Mary?
She was Mother Mary.
She really was Mother Mary. And so, but Mother Mary wasn't a creator.
No, she was actually what we call an innocent. God the Father had to choose a purely human innocent, one that had not been touched, one whose mind was beautiful, fair, and pure, someone that was of the essence of Gaia, but yet was untouched, clean, and pure. And that was her.
So she is here now, but she's not a creator being now because she wasn't a creator being then?
Correct. She was never a creator being.
I was just wondering if you could be a creator being now even if you weren't then or something.
No, I think that all the creator beings, no creator beings have been created for quite a while now, but another round will be created later.
And one more, Tim Doige.
From New Zealand.
Yes. Can you tell me anything about him?
He's an interesting fellow. He is not a creator being, but he is someone of interest. What would you like to know about him?
Well, I thought, and he thinks too, that I was the one with him in the hospital when he was having his brain operation.
Correct.
And that's been continuing working with him. And he remembers seeing my face with him.
That is true.
And so Mary Magdalene, this thing about my aspects, being around, helping people, healing people, that was one of my aspects. but that aspect of me to him looked just like I look now.
Actually, you went to him just like you are now.
So
It
not
was
only
what you call bilocating. You did a little bilocating in your sleep. You see, that's on the other side of the world. So when you were asleep, you went over there too.
well, that explains a lot of my dreams. A lot of my dreams are doing things on Earth. Helping people.
Exactly.
It's mostly what I remember in my dreams.
And Tim will continue to get better.
Okay. That's what I wanted to ask you about. He's going to be talking to you. I asked him to talk to you first before he asks for the El Yahas to work on healing him next time.
Yes,
Because
I think they've already done some healing work on you.
Yeah, they have. But the reason that I've been worried about Tim is because the doctors are telling him that his brain is getting worse, and they're trying to get him to come in for another operation, and he's scared to death. And I want that removed from his life. I want those doctors removed.
Yes, because it's not true.
Yes, they need to be removed. We need
The
to
El
get...
Yaha did some interesting work on his brain that actually helped the movement in his left side.
And so when he comes to have them work on him again, they can
I will speak
complete...
to him first.
Okay, they can complete him. He doesn't ever have to go back into that hospital.
It will take a few times. There is extensive damage to him, but they will work until they get it right.
That's what I was wondering. When the El Yahas start working on your brain, they continue doing it. He doesn't really have to come back to another session to get the El Yahas to work again. They just kind of continue working anyway.
They go back and forth. But what I think he would like is to hear what they're doing.
And I know that you have already told me, and the El Yaha has already told me that there's nothing the matter with my brain, but there are these symptoms of many people who get hit on the head, who have short-term memory removed, and I have not had short-term memory since I was hit on the head when I was 13 years old, and I still think that some of this dream recall problem has to do with this short-term memory. I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago. And this morning,
Is that the truth?
I don't know why. This morning I woke up with this total recall of this dream that I was having. For 2 or 3 hours I was having this dream, going through this thing, very intricate. I was remembering everything. And I remembered it when I woke up. But 5 minutes later I didn't remember it at all. But that's an improvement. Usually only lasts 1 minute.
Well, all right. Oh, Mary, my dear. We will see what we can do to help you out with that. I will have them take a look at your brain. Of course, Alika says there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that's what they keep telling me. That's what they keep telling me.
Perhaps it's a synapse problem. We will check that out.
It's just when we
I believe there's nothing wrong. It's working correctly, and maybe it stops working after a time. We'll have to check that out.
Or maybe I'm just choosing.
Well, the thing is, there are some things that you would choose to forget, I'm sure, but there are many things that I would think you would choose to remember. So, we will have to check it out while you are sleeping.
Because I still feel bad that I'm not remembering the arrival of the ones landing, the original ones. I'm supposed to be meeting them and remembering their names. And
oh, do you have their names?
No.
Do you know how many there were?
No. But I had a feeling, there was a feeling of this landing. I can remember. about 3 or 4 times each month, I've had this feeling of this joy, of this new energy rushing in, flowing in, and I was just sure that was a landing. And one time I saw it, one time in January, I saw 3 entities, but I had to have Elijah tell me their names. I'm not able to remember. I could remember the feeling, I could remember this interaction, and then I forget everything else.
All right. Well, we need to work on that then. I will get with Elika and a couple others, and we will take care of it, or look into it. I should say look into it, because it doesn't appear that there's anything wrong with that brain. But we will look into it.
Can you give me any of the names of the ones who have landed?
The second run there was 4 in the landing party of the Arcturian Zaza ship, and they were Belata, Ikriti, Zendo, and Forelen.
That was in March. That's been recently.
That was early this month.
So that's what I thought. And Elga also, it was about, I think it was March 15th is when we rounded 15th, 20th, around that time, maybe it was 17th. But we both felt it the same day. Elga wrote to me. She said, "Oh, did you feel that?" And I said, "Yeah, I felt that. It was so great." But and Elga has very good recall of her dreams and stuff, and she isn't getting any names. I guess only
She's not getting the names?
No.
The names are unusual, so it's hard to remember them.
And who landed in February? I know there were at least 2 landings in February.
Yes, there was a group that was within the solar system, from Venus landed, and there was only 3 on that ship. They were all women, interestingly enough, all females. Venus is very run by females a lot. A lot of females are in power, and there were 3 females on the Venusian ship, and their names were Kiklaqua, Furkasushunye, and Tusimsi Vinzia.
Well, no wonder I can't remember their names.
Don't ask me to repeat them.
I could never remember those.
Because they were just given to me. Like I said, here, listen very carefully. If this body can't pronounce it, then just don't say it. The other landing was from Alpha Centauri. It was the, what are they called? The Kriya. It was a 2-man ship, and they were both gentlemen, yes, and their names were Laka and Zu.
I remember hearing something like that. I think that's the one that I did kind of.
You did remember them?
Yes, that
Yay! Laka and Zu. And they are the Kriya race. Kriya. K-R-R-E-A-A, I think. They have multiple vowels and consonants.
Is that the same group that Elika told me that would be able to open larger areas of tectonic plates?
I do not know. I will ask him, but it might be the same group. Kriya. The Kriya group.
I thought you said Kaya, but it could have been Kriya.
No,
Okay.
I think it was what you just said.
Kaya.
Yes, it was not Kriya, he said.
They haven't come yet. Okay. There is a lot of concern on Earth about people thinking they need to find their soulmates, and they just feel like it's a matter of life and death if they don't find their soulmates. Finding soulmates isn't a big important thing, is it?
No.
It's just kind of like
And there's some miscalculation about what a soulmate is. Sometimes you may find a soulmate of the same sex but not be sexually attracted to one another. But your soulmate, as far as being of very similar essence and very similar thought processes. And so, no, it is not important that you seek out your soulmate. It's not a matter of life and death. Let me tell you another thing. Twin flames, there is so much information that is so incorrect about twin flames. Everybody sort of makes up their own idea what a twin... They say, oh, I've met my twin flame, and this is what happened, and it's totally bogus. So these twin flame sightings are sometimes very different from one another, and twin flames are those that come from the same soul, and the soul has divided. And so in order for them to be whole, they have to come together. And it is not that they are going to run from each other. They should exactly match. It should be like putting a puzzle together. Twin flames. Okay, the flame comes together, it's a whole. So how is it that some people say, oh, twin flames run from each other? Oh, I hate my twin flame. No way. It doesn't make any sense.
I have a friend, her name is Bing Wui Ong. She's from Malaysia.
I figured it was somewhere around there.
She thought that she had found her soulmate, and then he left her and married somebody else. And can you tell me anything about her? How I might help her? She's just...
Those people that think they found their soulmate, twin flame, etc., and then they go off and marry someone else, no, they are not. That is not your twin flame. Otherwise, you would be matched together. They would not be able to leave you. They would feel compelled to stay. And to be a soulmate is to be compelled to be with one another. There's such a strong force between you that it's wonderful. Just like you and Joe. There's no tearing you apart. No tearing you apart. You are compelled to be with one another. You do not really want to go see anybody else. He is the one for you. So that is it.
Possibility.
Now, she was very needy. She needed to find someone at that time. She was attracted. She was compelled to be with him. However, he was not in the same like mind. And so her needs were not met because he was not the right one. He might have been a wonderful, wonderful person, but she needed something right then, and so she called it what she will. But it did not work out to be that way, and so it was not what she thought.
Do you see her finding her true love?
If she can...
True love.
Yes, she can, but let me tell you this. Right now, she is stuck. She does not think that there is anybody else for her because this has happened. It's crushed her. But you must tell her, wake up. You have to awaken again. Let your heart awaken. Let your mind awaken. Become human again, in the sense that you are alive and not living for something that is not there for you, but awaken, become the spring again. You see, you've gone through the winter. Now it's time to wake up. Let your roots tuck in. Let your leaves come out. Let your blossom come up. And do not think about the winter, because you are staring at the sun now, and the rain, and not the snow and the ice. So therefore, she must let go of the winter and become the spring.
Wonderful. And she will find her true love.
If she can let go of her winter, yes.
So it's very much like finding God and turning into light, kind of the same thing.
Love is very much like that. Of course.
Turning into light and finding your true love, it's the same thing.
Very similar at times, yes.
Should be God. Should be God. I was going to ask this.
It's glary because it's on another screen. Looking at two different screens is very difficult. But yes, I can see it.
Who are these spaceships?
Tilt it a little bit more this way. Nope, the other way. Like flat.
Oh, flat.
Yes, like that. Yes. I can see it better that way. Oh. Oh, that could be one of two different species. That could be either, well, you see, there are three different Arcturian species. That's one of, it looks like one of their, one of the other Arcturian species, or it could also be a, Fendorian craft.
But these aren't the original ones. These are fourth dimensional spaceships that some people can see at this time.
Correct.
That's what I thought. There are a lot of fourth dimensional spaceships out there. What I was worried about is are there any out there that are trying to block the original ones coming in?
There are those that are trying to do some blocking, of course. There will always be those that are against the light. There will always be those that are against what is going forward, because they want everybody to be like them. So, and they're like stubborn, and also they want to stop anything that will be greater than them. So, because they want control. They like to control everything. And those species that like to control everything like to block the light, because the light can go beyond them.
But they can't actually see the original ones. They can't do anything. I was just wondering.
No, they won't be able to do that.
That they might be trying to do something. So these are Arcturians, right?
One of the several species of Arcturians. Yes, there are several different Arcturians. They've divided many times.
And these are fourth dimensional Arcturians, and there have been sightings like this for many, many years.
Oh yes.
On Earth.
Oh yes.
So these are all the ones waiting around to land next year. They're going to land
many
next.
People think that they're Gray's ships, but they're not. The Gray ships are a little different, but similar, but a little different.
And I've seen a lot of ships that look just like this, or most of them Arcturians that look.
Well,
they look.
Anymore, the ships from a different species are looking more similar, because there is, as you say, one right way to do things, and they're learning the right way to make a spaceship. And they're starting now. The spheres are very popular with the spaceships. The triangular ships are popular, and they're all getting sort of like you have to really look closely to tell them apart.
Joe, find these pictures of those spheres. I had some other spheres.
And there's another species of octorium that uses the...
Spheres hanging around my forge.
How big are they?
There's these the little ones, and then there's these big ones. There's a big one there, and then there's a bright one. This guy follows me around everywhere I go.
Those, some blue spheres are spirits. If you can see a face in it, it's a spirit. Because spirits appear... Oh, let me tell you how spirits can appear. They can appear in spheres. Some human spirits that have passed on come back in little spheres. And I have many pictures, or there are many pictures, and I have pictures of them myself, that of humans that come back in these blue spheres. So, but the larger ones are not human. The smaller ones are the human spheres.
What are the larger ones?
The larger ones can be either Yugil, or they can be Zendi. What is the name of that? Zendi tools.
There's a lot of grays hanging around my house.
Yes, they would be sort of grays. Yes.
Are they good grays or bad grays?
They're okay. They're neutral, pretty much.
They're okay grays.
They're okay. They're not evil. They're not nasty.
It is always hanging around my house.
Well, the grays are very curious. They're always getting in trouble because they're too curious and doing things they're not supposed to do because they're landing places they're not allowed to land, and they're looking at things they're not allowed to look at, and yes, that's the grays.
And why would there be dead people hanging around my house?
Oh, protectors from the past, ancestors, things of that nature. Uncle Gary,
So my spirit, I like to call them dead people.
Yes, they're spirits from other ages, from other time periods. They're fine. They're just protectors, and they know what you're doing, and they're there to help you along.
My time is up.
Well, it was good speaking to you.
Can I ask you one more question? Our son Josiah, is there any genetic left, or are there any people on Earth that are related to our son on Earth?
Yes.
At this time, are there people on? Can you tell me their names?
There is a group of people that you see. The family tree gets larger and larger as time goes on. So they're in. Josiah's children are everywhere, all over the world. But I can tell you they're mostly in what country is that? Sumatra?
Oh, Sumatra. Interesting.
So, yes, a lot of his family tree is there.
I have relatives in Sumatra.
Yes.
Nice. Can you tell me any names? Just one name?
Doram Findley. Doram Findley? Something like that. Finde. I can't pronounce it through this person. Doram is the first name. Durham. Doram.
So since you and I were creators, and does that make our son a creator even from birth? Does it work like that?
Not necessarily, no.
Not necessarily.
No.
But just good seed on Earth.
Correct.
I see. And that family line is doing good things? Still keeping...
Actually, yes. There is good and not so good, but mostly good, yes.
I've been wondering about that ever since you gave me that name. Well, thank you. It was so nice seeing you again.
It was nice seeing you as well.
And I will keep trying to get rid of my density.
And you're doing a good job. Don't worry about it.
I want to tell you one thing, get information to give to Elijah, because he told me that you have no reference point because this has never been done on Earth again. So I wanted to tell you what has happened to me during the first month of the transition.
Yes.
We had this great lightness within me of these cells. My body at this time is more like when I was 12 years old. That's how fast this has happened.
Cool.
My body is working like a 12-year-old now.
I don't usually say cool, but that's okay.
Very quickly, very fast movement forward. So I should be 0 years old in another month.
Wonderful. I like that. Be well, Mary. I have to go.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I love
Much.
you. Bye. Namaste.
I love you. Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
You look
How are
like
you?
you know where you are.
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Good. Excellent.
We've been watching Octurians on my other.
Ah, okay. Well, very right. Very good. And I will be back later. Huh?
Have you listened to any of the YouTubes that I put out of our discussions? I just wondered if you had.
I haven't had time to right now. The thing is, right now I'm helping 2 people move, and then I'm going, after that I come and do all my sessions for the rest of the day, so I just sort of fall into bed.
I was just asking because I wanted to let you know about how we've been sorting out the different Jesuses. And Ariel told me that I had been talking to the wrong one all along, and that's why she said, always ask for Jesus of Nazareth, or you're not going to get Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh,
And so,
okay. Jesus of Nazareth coming right up. No, I don't.
and that's why I wanted these YouTubes out.
There's many aspects of Jesus around right now. Yeah.
Is a lot of incorrect information coming through the other aspects.
Oh,
And
really?
That's why I wanted these YouTubes out, to get that recorded message out there that this is incorrect information going out, and this is the time that your job as Elijah is to get the correct information about Jesus out, and that's why I've been making this effort of getting these YouTubes out, of having these conversations of Jesus stating from himself, saying, no, that is incorrect information. So that's what
okay.
I've been doing.
No, I haven't watched any of those.
That's what I wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Okay, Jesus of Nazareth.
All right, I'll be back in a little while. Have a wonderful session.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you later, Joe.
See you later.
Greet me.